Hey guys, in this video I'll be coaching silver, gold and diamond ADC players on my stream. All coaching information can be found in my Discord server linked below. I hope you guys enjoy the video. You're moving this way because you're scared of them standing in this bush. This doesn't make sense for two reasons, alright? The first reason is you've literally seen Vayne here, so she cannot be waiting for you there. The second reason is, even if they were hiding in the bush, they wouldn't be able to outtrade you. Because if you hit Morgana Q, they will actually die. You're just not shoving the wave for no reason here. If you get level 2, and Morgana manages to land a bind, because you can get level 2, you can zone them off by walking up. If Morgana lands a bind, it's a dead champion, whoever it hits, because then you trap underneath them. Then they get double stunned, and then you Q right after you trap, and it's just done for them. So you should be shoving the wave here. What's the entire point of picking this lane? Morgana throws a bind. The bind connects. Vayne is sad. She's stunned for like 4 years in the binding. You walk up, you trap underneath her. You auto, Q, you auto with the trap, all while kiting forwards, and then she dies. So, as soon as you're about to hit level 2 here, I want you walking like this, and then I want you pinging, help, 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 on my way. Target pings, everything. I want you throwing the kitchen sink of pings at this Morgana to make sure she understands that she should walk up and try and hit a Q, because you have an opportunity here. You're moving like this, instead of just moving like this. And then autoing when you can, then backing up, then autoing, and then backing up. If you really want to become a strong AD carry player, you need to get used to auto spacing and moving back and forth and trying to land an auto and then not get hit yourself. Like Muhammad Ali bobbing and weaving with his jabs, you know. Any boxing fans in chat? So, once again, your Q is coming up. How do you want to Q? You want to Q through the whole wave and also hit the champs. The best chance of doing that is with the center of the Q being about here. Let's see if you do it. Okay, you're not doing it. That's what you want to do. Because if you shove the wave, what that means is, it buys you time where they can't trade on you. If they can't trade on you, you can go and ward. Okay? You can go and ward. You can harass them under tower if you know where the enemy jungler is. You can start getting damage for plates. It's really, really good for you, okay? See, that's a bad auto. Because that's what we call a 2v1 trade in the business, okay? So you're walking up to auto the Vayne. What's Morgana's range of influence? This. What are their ranges of influence? This. You're in both. You're in both. Morgana is not in range. So it's a 2v1 trade, so you lose. Okay? You only want to auto. You only want to auto when you can auto and they can't answer you back. Okay? Or if you have sustain. This is just about Caitlyn combos. Pretty much, if you're ever going to E on Caitlyn, you want to combo it with either your Q or your trap. Okay? So in this case, when you E, you can EW, and if you EW, you could E and then W here. Okay? Behind her. And the way that that works is, you E to slow them, they get slowed, they try and run away, and then they hit the trap. And then you hit the trap, and then you Q them and auto them. Or, you could simply EQ, the E hits, and they're slowed by the trap, the net, sorry, and they get hit by the Q. What's going to happen here is the enemies are going to walk into the bush, and then they're going to see the trap, and then they're going to go, oh, I'm not going to step on this trap. Okay? But if you put it here, they'll walk into the bush, and the second they walk into the bush, and they're like, oh no, I've been trapped. And then you Q them, and then you auto them, and then it's excellent. Okay? So, always place your traps on Caitlyn at the first place the enemies are going to walk into in the bush. So your only response to Vayne going in here, because if the longer the trade, the better the trade Vayne gets on you. So before it even happens, even if it doesn't happen, I want you to have the plan in your head for what you're going to do if she tumbles forward. So if she tumbles forward, she gets in range, she's used her only mobility spell, all you have to do is just EQ or EW. Because you will win the short trade because you have some burst with your E auto or your EQ or your EW. She wins the long trade because if she procs her passive with the 3 rings, then she'll do more damage than you, okay? That's my man right there. Like it was a live coaching session, guys. Like it was a live coaching. If you're active with your F keys, if you're active with looking around the map, you would have realized what's happening much earlier with the Herald here, and you'd have probably been already here, which potentially could have stopped this whole play. Like, it is annoying when you have to deal with split pushes like this, but the earlier you reach it when you actually need to go and help, the higher chance you'll have of success. Jeez, I forgot what the word success was there. Right, obviously here, if you have the reaction time, the Q is not good, and if you have the reaction time, you should flash the Warwick ult, but honestly, I don't think I flashed a Warwick ult until I was Platinum, so I'm definitely not judging you on that one. Let's look at this again. Remember that Q on Caitlyn is a CC. Q is a self-CC. It's like Renekton using W, alright? If you're going to use that Q, it better be good. Because if it's not good, all you're doing is standing still. This EQ. Now look how long the EQ takes, right? Compared to Eing. Crazy. You're saving crazy time, bro. EQ. So, and then you get the auto afterwards anyway. Always get the auto afterwards. And if the champion is running this way, right, you want to EQ like this. You want to hit the E normally, like you normally would, and then you want to aim your Q a bit to the side, if they're running, right? So let's pretend you hit it, and then they're running like here. So then you want to EQ like this. Okay, to catch them when they're running. Okay, so next one is EW. So, if the enemy's a CC, you EW like this. EW. And then you get double headshot. And the normal way you would do it would you EW, auto, Q, then auto with the headshot, okay? That's one way. So EW, auto, Q, auto with the headshot. If they're running towards you, the way you want to do it is you want to E and then you want to W here. Because then, by the time they get hit by the E, you're going to hit them with a W. If they're running away, which is a weird one to do, you can EW like that. Okay? So, I want you to practice these in practice tool all the time. And as far as the other stuff goes, if the enemy champions are here, when you're shoving the wave, I want you to be autoing, queuing like this. Boom, you're hitting the whole wave, you're shoving perfectly. And you're also hitting them, okay? If you shove the wave, you have the priority. What do you do with that priority? You want to do one of a number of things. You want to harass under tower if it's safe. Okay? You want to get plates if it's safe. Okay? You want to roam if it's safe and you can get back in time for the minions, or if it's an insane roam. Or you want to go and get vision if it's safe. But it always will be safe because you've just shoved them in and they're going to be here and you're going to be 2v1 if the jungler is there. So, if you're thinking, I can't really get tower damage here because I'll get traded on under the tower because of that sustain, go and get the vision. Alright? If you already have vision and you can damage them under tower, harass them. If you can't harass them because they're playing too far back, get the tower plates. Okay? Always do something with it. Always do something with it. This is as simple as freezes come, okay? We count the minions. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? They have one, and normally you want to take into consideration the melees and the range, but in this case it's obvious. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They have 10 minions. You have 7. This one's also about to die. It's obviously, just by looking, it's pushing to you. So, what are your options here? Either we shove, or we don't shove. If you shove, you'll get this to tower eventually and you'll get all the minions. But you're also pretty much giving the Vayne all of these minions in a nice sack. Alright? If you just last hit here, you don't need to be like super crazy smart about it. If you just last hit, all this huge wave is going to kill all of your minions, and then Vayne is not going to get them. Okay? Once again, this is a minor point of the coaching session. It's not a major point of the coaching session because you are a silver player. I'm not expecting you to have double lift level wave management, right? But I just want to plant the seeds. I want to plant the seeds in your head so you can notice. The next level of wave management is you realize, okay, they have a huge wave. It's pushing to me, but it's going to push to me a little bit too fast. Okay? So I'm going to thin out 3 or 4 of these ranged minions so that I can maintain this freeze for longer. In alternate universe, the freeze would still be continuing here, and then you can go up and you can put your pink ward here in the bush. By the way, in the tri-bush, which looks something like this, pretty much, you always want to put your pink wards here in this corner, because then the enemies have to really go into your territory to actually clear it. That's just a little AD carry tip. But yeah, if you keep the freeze, you can potentially go and put the pink ward here, and then Kha'Zix can walk here when the enemies have to walk up to here, and then you can make them overstep and potentially get a kill with the gank or blow flash. You're kind of passively going through the laning phase, and you're reacting. You're reacting to everything rather than being proactive, and creating opportunities, okay? So the way you create opportunities is you're taking the opportunities to hit them with Qs. You're getting active vision on the map, so you know that you're safe to shove, and you're trying to win your lane, okay? You're not just laning. You're trying to win your lane actively, all right? And here's the thing. The rate of improvement at any role is literally like 3 times faster when you're trying to be a proactive player and trying to win. Because yes, you'll lose more often by doing that, but you'll learn how to win, okay? If you're not taking any risks, it's going to be much harder to improve. If you get this clean in your head, you're going to get like the idea of how to play Caitlyn all the way up to high diamond, because it really is this simple. And Caitlyn kind of like, she's not a cheater champion, but she kind of cheated me up to like close to D1 when I definitely wasn't ready as a player to be on that level, because you can play with a few things in mind. What you're playing for is CS lead, okay? Which means there's no point in poking if you're not getting CS while you're poking, unless it's getting them to 10% HP, okay? CS lead. You want first tower. Your goal, ideally, would be first tower every single game, plus the plates, okay? Not dying to the jungle. Or to the lane, of course. And you want to be, when it's safe, okay? When safe, shove, and poke at the same time. You're firing your Q through as many minions as you can, and also hitting the enemy champions as much as possible. Then, when you create the scenario where you have more minions on your side than they do, they can't trade with you, which means if they walk up into your auto range, you can auto them. And you rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You do this over and over again. You learn when you're safe, when you're not safe. You ward at the right times, and you try and be as active as possible mentally into realizing when you're under threat and when you're not, and these leads will just make themselves. I'm telling you, like, especially lower relos, if you play Caitlyn with this harass mindset, people will just fall over themselves losing CS, dude. They really will. Guys, make it your job to tell your jungler where the enemy jungler is starting. It's one of those things. You don't lose anything from doing it, so you might as well do it and give them the information. So, what they do is they tried to hide where they were leashing, but then Vayne walked into lane from this path, and Sivir and Yuumi came out from the bush here. What does that mean? That means Sivir and Yuumi were already in that bush, and they were leashing topside. So now you pretty much know 90% the jungle started topside. Good info. Always pay attention to that, lads. Okay. What you should be doing here, instead of this walk up, which you can only end in a bad trade, she has a shield even, okay? It's hitting the wave to get level 2. They, right now, are this much HP of the minion, plus this much behind in auto attacks, and that's like 3 to 4 auto attacks. So there are 3 to 4 auto attacks behind you in reaching level 2, which means you can reach level 2 first. Once you reach the level 2, if you're in the same position now, then you walk this way, and then cut them off here, and then just fight them and kill them. Just because we're AD carry players, right, and we deal in auto attacks and crit strike chance and stuff like that, doesn't mean that we don't think about mana. There are many, many AD carries that when they don't have mana, they are absolutely awful. One of them is this one right here, Sivir. Another one is Lucian. Another one is Ezreal. Okay? Jinx is pretty bad without mana too. But she's not as bad, because at least she has natural attack speed. Okay? So, right now, Sivir is in a world of trouble. Yeah, someone call Tyler1 to tell him what situation he's in, honestly. You have no mana, my friend. You have no mana. Which means, Sivir can't Q you anymore. Sivir's half HP. She's super trolled this so far. So now, what you can do is you can zone her off as many minions as you want. How does Sivir get mana back? She gets mana back with her spell shield. How does she do that? By blocking spells. What do you not do when Sivir is 0 mana? You don't throw your spells at her to give her a free spell shield. Okay? Because you'll win if you just poke her down with auto attacks. They tried to hide that leash, but they did it badly. Why did I say that? Because the Vayne pathed from clearly the jungle, and the Sivir pathed clearly from in here. Which means the Sivir was already in here when Graves was doing his first camp, and Vayne was actually helping him at red. So, what does that mean? It means Graves is starting at red, so he's not going to level 2 gank you, even though he wouldn't anyway. But it means that when Karthus is on this side of the map, Graves, because Karthus started here, Graves is going to be on this side of the map, because he started here. And if Graves is on this side of the map, where's he going to gank? Doesn't look like he's going to gank Malzahar, because Malzahar is basically at his own tower in the mid lane. So what is his only option? His only option is to gank you. Alright? So, what do? You ward. Because don't underestimate Coles. Like, it was kind of in fashion. Like, when it first came out, everyone was buying it. And now, randomly, everyone stopped buying it. It's like, I understand why you don't want to buy it if you want to all-in lanes. But if you're in a lane like this where you're just farming, the Cole will give you extra sustain and extra stats. Better stats than a dagger. And it will actually literally give you gold. So, there's no reason not to buy it. It's 3 minutes. Buy the Cole. It's perfect. I hope you do. Let's see. Any Cole? Any Cole buyers? Good stuff. Most people don't buy Cole. But it's a good item still. Good job. Applause for Mr. Lol Simba in chat. But no applause for not looking at your lane when you're walking to it. No applause for not looking at your lane when you're walking to it. Because looking at your lane will allow you to formulate your plan on what you're going to do once you reach a lane. There's no reason not to look at the scoreboard, look at what items Sivir has, look at what items everyone has, and just figure stuff out. Look at what the first dragon is up here. Be active, be active, be active. That's what you got to do in League. You got to be active, you got to be mentally active, you got to be pinging your team, you got to take charge of being the person who pings the objectives and tells your team where to go and stuff like that. That's how you control games and climb elo and get better at the game. Once again, you're really not respecting the strength of a refillable pot here. Yeah, so it's 250 HP. You get 250 effective HP, which means if you took all the trades you already did in lane, here, you're at almost 800 health here. So your health is here with the refillable pots. And now all of a sudden the lane isn't looking so badly, okay? The lane isn't looking so bad now, the lane state. In these lanes in League, where pretty much it's wave clear simulator, okay? The only thing that decides the lane when it's wave clear simulator is how fast you shove the wave, how fast you get to lane, and if you get a gank. It's not really to do with your overall damage, because your overall damage on both sides isn't enough where you can just all in. The way the lane goes is that you guys are basically both just farming. So, Berserker Greaves are absolutely insane in this case, because what it means is you have the movement speed where if your jungle comes, you can actually catch up with the enemy laner. And you have the attack speed to shove the lane. You have the attack speed to dodge the poke to keep your sustain up. The movement speed, and most importantly, you have the movement speed to walk to lane fast and miss the minimal amount of CS possible. And what happens is, one of the AD carries buys boots tier 2 and the other one doesn't. And that AD carry slowly gets 1 or 2 minions on every recall that they wouldn't get without the boots, and slowly that lead goes up and up and up and up. So if you're in these sort of lanes, just buy the Berserker Greaves. The damage isn't going to help you in these lanes, really. Here, you kind of messed up. Because your Lulu is thinking one thing and you're thinking the other thing. Your Lulu walks in for the trade and you're walking away from the trade. So you're basically almost putting Lulu... You're taking what would be a 2v1 trade and making it a 1v1 trade, if not a 1v2 trade. Which is terrible. Look at that. So if Sivir doesn't troll, if Sivir takes another step forward, and Yuumi keeps stepping forward, you have 2 champions attacking your Lulu while you're back here for like a second and a half before you get in range, okay? That's a no-no from me. You want to be attached to your ranged support as if there is a line between you, and you both have circles around you, like this, okay? And what you want is, you want your circles to both be able to hit the enemy champs when they walk here. So in this case, you want your line to be like this, if the champion's there, okay? If the champion is here, or here, you want your line to be here. So you're both able to attack it, okay? Does that make sense to you guys? It's extremely predictable if you're moving in these large lines, back and forth. What's going on here is, every second that you're moving along this line, you're going, I'm gonna try and poke you. And then when you're walking back, you're going, I'm going back so I can CS. Okay? It's super obvious what you're doing when you move like this. If instead of doing that, you're moving like this, they're going, are they moving forwards to poke me? Are they going forwards for CS? I don't know what they're doing right now. And then all of a sudden, either you're going to be able to get positive trades on them by poking them when they go for CS, or you're going to zone them off naturally by your positioning being more forward. Okay? It's a win-win. To the direction a champion was going when he left the minimap, you can tell exactly where they're going. Okay? It's the same thing as when there's a ward and the enemies are killing a ward. The ward vision stays for like half a second to a second afterwards, and where the enemy champ's face is pointing, this is an LS thing, this is how he describes it, where the enemy champ's face is pointing will tell you where they've last clicked, and where they've last clicked is mostly where they're going. Now when you reach high elo, and if you're playing a champ like Twitch, or in certain situations you've seen me do it, what you can do is, you can exit the minimap one direction, and then when the vision fades, you turn the other way and you wrap around. And that's a really effective way in higher elo of juking people out mentally with the big brain, okay? But low elo, you don't really need to think about that much. 99% of the time, where someone's walking will be where they're going in lower elo, okay? So just remember that. So now we know that Graves is coming to us, which means we don't really want to push the wave if we don't have to. If I want to know if there's an enemy jungler in here or an enemy jungler in the river, I'll start walking, I'll take a few steps this way, and then if the Sivir randomly just starts tanking our entire wave to walk towards us, what does that tell us? It tells us that the jungler is there and the jungler is now walking towards us and the Sivir wants to get in on the action and get a kill on us. If the Sivir stays back, most likely the jungler isn't there. It's gone. The concept is different types of bot lanes. So any bot lane that has a healer support, like the Yuumi, is a sustain lane, alright? And sustain, oh my god, what the hell? That's a large pen. Alright. Sustain, okay, wants to trade. Sustain lanes want to trade. Because what happens is, if a sustain lane, like Sivir Yuumi, takes a short trade that's even health, so you lose 200 health, she loses 200 health, what happens is, she heals it back up. You don't heal it back up. Okay? Which means they win the trade even if it's even. They even win the trade if it's slightly better for you. So, what you don't want to do into a sustain lane, when you don't have sustain, because Lulu doesn't heal you, alright? Lulu does not heal you. You don't want to take short trades. You only want to take all-ins, and you want to out-wave clear them, is the only thing you want to do. So on Sivir's map, what you're seeing right now is you're seeing Graves walking down to bot lane or Graves walking to blue buff. So what Sivir should be doing here is she would stand still because she has all the sustain in the world with Yuumi. And as she sees you walk back here, she walks here, here, tanks the minion wave for a second. If Lulu keeps walking back, she walks into the bush to save a bit of HP. She walks out again. Your minions stay here. Then her minion wave comes and it crashes here. Which means if you want to get any minions, you have to walk up here. Okay? But she's probably not going to do that. She's probably going to shove it. But that's something you can do, okay? Where do you want the wave to come here? You're not capable of shoving in the wave. That's for sure, okay? You're not capable of shoving in the wave. You know Graves is on this side of the map. You don't have a lot of mana to be able to use your Q if you do want to shove the wave in. So where do you want the wave to come in? You want to be safe. You want to not die. You want the wave to come into you and then reset. And then maybe you can get one shove. Alright? So, if the wave's coming into you, what do you not do? You don't start autoing minions that you don't need to auto. Because that's going to help the shove towards them. Okay? So wait until it's 1 HP and then hit it. Wait until it's 1 HP and then hit it. The most tilting thing as a bot laner. Basically it says, he said use your flash to Lulu. The most tilting thing as a bot laner, whether it's as an AD carry or as a support. Yeah, it doesn't matter. He said use your flash to Lulu, okay? So yeah. The most tilting thing as a bot laner is when your lane partner, especially when they've made a mistake too, okay, starts flaming you. And even though this isn't flame, it's still tilting. Like, if Lulu didn't flash, Lulu knows that she should have used flash if she didn't flash and she died. She knows it. There's no point in you pointing it out. At least she has flash for the next fight. Alright? Like, all that doing that does, Lulu knows she doesn't have flash anymore. Lulu knows she's dead. Lulu knows that she has flash up. Telling her that doesn't accomplish anything for you. You're spending time on typing it. You're spending time on thinking about it. Lulu's getting tilted thinking about it. Lulu's probably going to reply to you. There's going to be some sort of situation where Lulu's going to be like, not supporting this trash AD carry anymore. I'm just going to go and roam. And then it just goes to crap, okay? Another thing you should be doing, when you see that they have the 3 dragons, you press on the scoreboard, you look at your Wukong, you see if he has TP up. If he has TP up, ping TP up, and then ping dragon spawning, dragon spawning. If he doesn't have it, type in chat, Wukong come bot, dragon is spawning. Because Wukong's shoved this wave in, as you can see. So Vayne's going to have to deal with the wave shove while Wukong can walk bot, and then Vayne's either going to have to TP to the dragon, or she's going to have to not be there for the 4v5 fight, and then you guys can win the fight, get the dragon, okay? Again, pretty advanced, but you need to be thinking. Little things can snowball this, right? So Wukong was here, and then he decided to go back top. If we spam pinged him, maybe he would have just walked to the dragon. He wouldn't have had to use his TP. Now he'd have his TP up right now. If he had his TP up right now, Baron is spawning in 1 minute and 20 seconds. Herald is also spawning. We can walk top. Wukong can walk bot, right? With teleport. Which means if the bot lane goes to match him, you get a free Herald and then a free mid inhib tower. And if the bot lane doesn't go to match him, Wukong gets free towers bot. Like, these things snowball. It's so worth it to ping your team stuff that they need to do. It's so insanely worth it, okay? Make this decision because Ryze didn't have TP. You made this decision because you were arbitrarily just walking bot, okay? And in another world, Ryze would have TP, and then there'd be a fight at the Herald because your team would fight regardless, because they'd be like, oh, Ryze is far away, he can't join. And then he'd teleport, and then it would be a 4v3, and then they would win, or a 5v3, and then they would win, and then you're just pushing bot lane tower, you know? So yeah, you need to be where the most important things are as an AD carry at this point in the game. You hit them with your rocket, nice, that's a good rocket. Okay. This is so important. Alright, so right here, look at Ryze's health. What's one word to describe Ryze right now? He's dead. Ryze is dead. Okay, Ryze is basically dead. I think pretty much any League of Legends player can look at this screenshot and say, yeah, Ryze is gone. He's a goner. Alright? So, he Zhonya's. He uses Zhonya's. You use your traps, okay? What can you do after you kill this Ryze? You can probably just end the game. These guys are running. So, the only reason... And he has Yuumi on him, by the way. So, the only reason that you should walk this way afterwards, after you trap it. So you trap, he's definitely dead, and then you start running this way all the way back here. The only reason you can do this is if you're so galaxy brain that you're thinking, he's about to come out of this, Wukong's going to one-shot him, I'm going to be closer to get my passive off and then chase these guys down and then get all 5 of them and then end the game, right? But that's not what you were doing, because you walked back and then you walked right forwards again. So, when you're playing AD carry, the way that you guarantee that people die is by standing on top of them if they're guaranteed to be dead and there's nothing that can kill you. Because if you walk back here and then Ryze flashes out, gets a 300 HP Yuumi heal, alright, and then gets like Seraphs or something on top of him, and incredible movement speed, he can actually maybe escape. But if you stand on top of him here with your Lulu movement speed, wherever he flashes, he's going to die. Okay? So remember that. These step backs make no sense. Ryze isn't killing you, so the step back makes no sense, okay? You have what we call a Lulu. And what Lulu does is she puts large shields and attack speed buffs and Ardent Sensor on AD carries, like you, okay? What Sivir has is no Yuumi, okay? And seemingly no ultimate. So, right here when you walk up to her, Lulu's going to shield you, you can just keep attacking her. She would have died if you didn't do that step back. Okay. I guarantee you, above plat, every single Ezreal player there is, when he plays on red side, and even when he plays on blue side, is going to try and hit this Q on you. Okay? 9 times out of 10, all you need to be is just aware of this, and you can either make it impossible by pathing like this, or you can try and put your juking shoes on and just do a little back step here, and then it's fine. But the best way to take advantage of level 2 is, so right now you know for a fact that you're going to hit level 2 before them, right? Look how low these minions are. These 2 minions. And your 2 minions they need to kill are here. Right? So you're definitely going to get level 2 first. So as you're autoing these minions, I want you to be kiting up so that as soon as you hit level 2, you and Lulu are able to take advantage of the fact that you got the level 2 spike first, okay? And you can potentially zone them off. At the very least, you can zone them off 1 or 2 minions, right? Because you should be help pinging, on my way pinging, all the way here. And that means Lulu and you will both walk up as you're going to get level 2. And then you can actually take advantage of it, rather than get nothing from it, like you do here. And you're also using your Q just to clear the minions when there's no need to. You're going to get level 2 first anyway. Zac just got into a fight topside and he's recalled, okay? His red has probably been cleared after that fight, which means the only camp up would be the Krugs. So either he's pathing top just to get Krugs, which is pretty unlikely, or he's pathing bot to get his respawned Gromp and Wolves and potentially the Scuttle Crab as well, okay? So, in that case, you need to think, right, I need to be scared of a Zac gank, especially because, as we know, earlier on my Lulu flashed, okay? So, if the enemy players are good, then Pyke will be pinging. Lulu has no flash, Lulu has no flash. I can flash E-flash on Lulu, okay? Something like that. So, you need to be really careful of a Zac gank here. So, what do you not want to do? If you shove, unless you get the perfect shove, then you're going to be stuck with a wave up here, and Zac can just gank you over the wall. Neither of you have a dash, and you'll almost definitely die, okay? So, you probably want to let them push the wave into you, and try and hold the wave around here. So that's what you should be thinking in these scenarios against a champ like Zac. But if you're going to play this champion, you need to be confident enough that you can use your spell shield correctly and use it reactively. You wouldn't have needed to use flash if you spell shielded correctly here, because you spell shielded early. Second of all, if you're going to flash, you should flash before the ability hits you, rather than flashing once the ability hits you, because naturally you're just taking a bunch of health damage, and that ends up killing you. So, even if you mess up your spell shield, okay, the timing for flash is now. You just flash here. And as soon as you flash, well, a bit further, you flash here, and you just start DPSing this Pyke down. Because, what do you know about this? Pyke came round here, and he was using W. So that's one ability down, okay? He used Q, which got cancelled by Lulu, and that's down. And he just used E, and you just flashed it, so that's down. So the only thing that Pyke has is auto attacks. And he's all the way down here. So, if you flash his E, you can just kill Pyke with Lulu now. And now all of a sudden the tables have turned. Now we just kill Pyke. Okay? I'm seeing you rely quite a lot on just using your Q to kind of just last hit minions. And it's the same principle as any of you guys who play mid lane, okay? You'll notice if you ever watch people who are gold or low plat stream mid lane, something they'll often do is they will heavily rely on using their spells just to last hit. Like, let's say on Lux. They'll constantly be using their Q to last hit, they'll constantly be using their E to last hit, and what that does is, number one, it drains your mana pool, which will stop you from being able to shove the wave when you actually need to. Number two, it puts the ability on cooldown, which takes pressure from you off of the enemy champions, okay? So, don't use your abilities, don't rely on your abilities just to last hit minions when you don't get another benefit from it, aka hitting the enemy champion, or when you're hard shoving the wave, because when you need to hard shove, use everything. Use absolutely everything. But if you're just last hitting, there's no point. You're just using your mana pool. So, what does this BF sword give you the power to do? This is literally the entire champ of Sivir in the bot lane, okay? The thing that Sivir has over other AD carries is the wave clear. She can one-shot the wave. She can't quite do it with just BF sword, but she can do it a hell of a lot better than Ezreal. So, as soon as you get this BF sword, the power you have is you can insta-destroy a wave compared to him, and you can get to dragons, etc, etc. Or you can just force him to use his mana under the wave and just get prio, get some wards, okay? So now you're starting to get into a nice spot. You usually need to move around the map, deleting waves and then getting objectives. That's the way that Sivir should work. If you're ever in a situation where you have to face check a bush, okay? Just in case, it's always worth it to do a little juke to either side when you just about get in range of potential abilities. So, for example, level 1, when you're walking through Tribush down here, you do the same thing. If you're ever in a really rough situation in a game where they're doing Baron or they're doing Dragon and you need to face check a bush, always walk up to it and then go BAM! Do a little sideways movement. And a lot of the time you'll end up dodging something. What is this fight right now that you're taking? It's you, support, jungle, potentially mid if they can, versus the enemy. Pyke, who was here, Zac, which we don't know, he could be somewhere, Ezreal, who was in lane a second ago, and LeBlanc. Okay? So, before you decide that you're going to do this, I want you to F-key over to your mid laner, look at the state of the wave, and then decide. Because if LeBlanc has a huge wave pushing into the tower, then all that's going to happen is, when you start this, Veigar's going to have to take the wave under the tower, LeBlanc's going to come, and then potentially it's a 4v3 and you're just going to die and you're going to lose the game. Alright? Or Veigar's going to have to lose an entire wave of minions, in which case it's still not worth it. Now, by the way, if you're silver, bronze, gold or something, not all these tips will be necessary for you to do. This is a diamond player's video, so I'm giving slightly more advanced tips. So yeah. Why in the world would Pyke be moving forward here? What is the potential reason that Pyke, half HP Pyke by the way, would be moving forward underneath your tower? I think there's only one. Let me tell you right now from me, I've reached Challenger before, I've played Mid-Master EU West, alright? There are more cheese plays than high elo. High elo is filled with cheese plays. The higher elo you're going to get, the more likely it is that you're going to be walking back to lane and some champ is going to jump at you in between lanes. Bronze, silver and gold players don't be doing this, trust me. They are thinking of the game in a more one-dimensional way, so this part of the map doesn't even exist to them, mostly, until the tower in front of it is destroyed. The higher elo you get, the more likely it is that people are going to do plays like this and jump on you from here, okay? Right now you need to be looking at what's happening. Like, the game is being decided and we are looking at minions right now, unfortunately. Even if you end up missing the cannon, okay? You need to tell. Because potentially, this could be a situation where if you press R and run, you can win the entire game for your team. Or it's a situation where you do exactly the same thing you're doing. But you need to know. You need to know. But you don't know. ADC, okay? ADC, when there are no objectives up, is Farm Simulator, alright? You collect as much gold as you can, as quickly as you can, and as efficiently as you can, without dying. And then, you will be strong as hell for the fights coming up, and you will decimate the enemy team, hopefully. That's the principle behind it anyway. But now we're approaching the danger zone, alright? We're at 19 minutes and 45 seconds. What's happening in 15 seconds? The Baron Nashor is spawning. That's my attempt at Baron Nashor. I'm going to go no further with that illustration. Baron Nashor spawning. What can happen when you're here? They can fight you 4v3 before Twitch arrives, kill your whole team, and then start the Baron. Dangerous. Renekton potentially has TP. Even more dangerous. Okay? So now that Baron's spawned, you're at a point in the game where you need someone else to match the Renekton, unless there's zero chance of them getting the Baron. So you should be careful. At the very least, you need to be spam pinging. The only step here that you should be doing, once you get this, she's polymorphed, she's used her E, she's used her abilities, Pyke's used his Q, is the forward step here. Boom, you're stepping forward. You're trying to kill the LeBlanc. You get like 1 or 2 more autos, potentially it's the kill, okay? The reason Essence Reaver scales so nicely on Sivir is not just because of the mana and the AD and the crit, it's also because of the 20% CDR. And 20% CDR allows your W to be on an extremely short cooldown, which means during fights, you're going to be getting the W off twice generally, maybe even 3 times. So, since you're getting this W off, and Sivir has such good base AD, alright, you need to be using the W auto reset whenever you have the W. If you're going to press W, there's literally no reason not to use the W auto reset. What I want you to do. Enter practice tool, buy your items if you're going to practice Sivir, and practice fighting with W reset. So you reset the W like that. We're waiting for it to come back up. Bam. There's the W reset again, okay? And it's again. Bam. Again. Just keep doing this. Make sure you get it correct every time. Make sure you're using your lethal tempo attack speed right too, alright?